of the give-ups, the promises the opposition announced. So, Madam Speaker, the spokesman on finance said that they would pay back the asset tax that is levied on the financial sector in 5 payments. So first, Madam Speaker, the spokesman on finance will have to stop taking the asset tax before he can start paying back for what was taken. Otherwise, he will never finish paying back.
Members.
A point of order. The member for South East St. Andrews said nothing about giving back asset tax. He talked about phasing out the tax over 5 years, not giving back the revenue already collected in 1 year. The minister is again misleading the House, and she must stop doing it. On securitization, I never said that securitization is in itself wrong. I said the use of the proceeds to fund the recurrent budget, using future revenue to meet today's expenses is what is wrong. And she's again misrepresenting the position.
So, Leader of the Opposition, members, please, Leader of the Opposition, I hope you'll appreciate that this is not a cross debate. And members, I'm ruling, and the ruling stands. So, Opposition Leader, you have been allowed the leeway to rise on a point of order twice to offer some clarification to what was said. Members, no, I don't think so. Please allow Minister to conclude. Members.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to the
Minister William.
Minister of Finance wrapping up the budget presentation right here on Portland Spice TV.
An estimate for the asset tax give-up would be $8,364,000,000, which we will minus of the revenues of the opposition side of the ledger. Additionally, the opposition said they would not require any corporate taxes from MSMEs for 3 years. Madam Speaker, that's a give up of $11.4 billion. Not for 3 years, in the first year, Madam Speaker. So we take that off of their ledger as well. The opposition also said they would take 1% of the taxes on the food import bill to put into a fund, so that would not be available for the central government's budget. And their own estimate is $2.5 billion. So we have to minus that off on their side of the ledger. And I have no quarrel with that figure. The opposition also said that they would increase the employer tax credit from 30% to 40% of tax chargeable. The cost. So the cost of that, Madam Speaker, would be a give up of $3.4 billion. So now if we take a tally, their revenues and grants would now be $939,859,000,000 after all those give-ups. Madam Speaker, let's move on to the expense side of the ledger. So we are projecting that compensation of public sector workers, including pensions, wage negotiation, and items owed, will be $495,799,000,000. I don't believe the opposition would want to meddle with this number, except to increase it if they believe they can. So I will put that figure on their side of the ledger as well, because we have to pay public sector workers. We get to the next line item under the expenses, recurrent programs. And for Jamaicans, recurrent programs are programs such as PATH, school feeding, Grand Store, 1009 schools, school transportation, books for schools, supplies for hospitals and health clinics, restorative justice programs, child diversion programs, Grand Gala and other independence celebrations, Know Your Numbers programs, trucking of water, subvention to our universities and teachers' colleges, subvention to NSWA for garbage collection, payment for streetlights, and so on. You get the gist of what is in this figure of $359.4 billion. And Madam Speaker, every dollar of it is already allocated to something. The notion that there is all this discretionary money is just that, a notion. Every dollar in the budget is allocated. The opposition would be free to look at these programs and decide which ones they're not doing or which ones they will cut back on because those are the only decisions that are available. So in the meantime, we put the $359.4 billion on the side of the ledger for the opposition as well. So we move to capital spending. We're estimating that we will spend $62.6 billion, Madam Speaker. We would love to spend more, but we have to work within a budget. And I will use the same figure for the opposition. If they want to cut it, keep it, or increase it, that's their prerogative. So we come to another tallying point. You will notice, Madam Speaker, on the government side, after paying public sector workers and recurrent and capital programs, not including interest on the debt and amortization, we have $178,313,000,000 left. The opposition has $22,088,000,000 left. But wait, Madam Speaker, there is still a long list of other goodies that the opposition promised. Yes, yes. The opposition promised to raise standards in early childhood and primary schools. There was no costing associated with this, but I would expect that they wouldn't spend any less than $1 billion. The opposition promised a daily lunch meal at primary and secondary for all children who need it. Madam Speaker, the government currently spends $9 billion for 200,000 children to get a breakfast, snack, and/or a midday meal. So it sounds like the opposition would want to at least double this to 400,000 children. All right, and so that would cost them an additional $9 billion. The opposition also promised a daily breakfast, but they said thereafter. And so I take that to mean in the next fiscal year, so I don't have anything projected there for that. Yes. Madam Speaker, opposition promised transport subsidy for 50,000 students over 3 years. In this upcoming fiscal 2025-26, that would cost an additional $428 million, just using the current figures for the 7,500 children for whom the government provides transportation. The opposition also promised to increase funding for special needs, but no one knows how much. And so I don't think that they would want to invest less than $1 billion in our special needs students. So there it is. Then electricity. They too want to tackle energy poverty and put renewable grid in communities, among other things. No cost was associated with this, but I'm going to put $2 billion because when we announced our $1 billion prepaid meter, house wiring and inspection, and $4,000 credit per month program, the opposition said it was not enough, right? So add another billion, right? Okay. Madam Speaker, the opposition explicitly said that they would give $1 billion to the creative industry. So that is on the side of their ledger as well. Now this one, Madam Speaker, one full scholarship for a university degree per family. Madam Speaker, I had to get out my Excel spreadsheet to do this one. And so if you'll put the chart up for the one full scholarship per family. So, Madam Speaker, the number of households in Jamaica are, well, it's 967,000. And when you read the literature, household is used as a proxy for families. So you can assume, you can correctly use this as 967,000 families in Jamaica. The number of students graduating from high school yearly is 35,000 students. And when you compare 35,000 to 967,000, you can pretty much see that there's a student coming from, families all across Jamaica. So, Madam Speaker, I made the assumption that the cost of tertiary per year is $900,000. I am sure I am underestimating. I am sure I am underestimating the cost of tertiary. But anyways, Madam Speaker, every student graduating from high school would want a full scholarship.
All right.
Yes. And if you just take those figures, 900,000 times 35,000 students, because there's no student that's going to go to student loan to go get a loan. Not when they can get a full scholarship, or they can get a full scholarship per family. Well, we have 967,000 families in Jamaica. So you must can get 35,000 one from them. And so, Mr. Speaker, when you take that and do the multiplication, other than saying one per family, Madam Speaker, there were no other stipulations, nothing. It was a blanket statement. It just said one per family. That was it. When the Prime Minister at our party's conference in November last year, when he announced that he was going to give $20,000 to persons who were not, collecting any benefit from the government, he gave conditions. He said that they would have to be registered at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, who would vet them and so on. So he gave conditions. There were no conditions other than one per family to this promise. So, Madam Speaker, I did this calculation more than once. I did it more than once to assure myself that it was correct. You're talking about $31.5 billion annually, Madam Speaker. The opposition also promised to match the cost that companies invest in their employees. And again, Madam Speaker, you can do the calculation there because the data exists. On average, employers pay about $954 per worker. Average training hours, 57 for the year. We know what the employed labor force is, and we can, just take a percentage of that gets trained annually, maybe about 7% or so. The total spend on training would be about $5.1 billion. And since the opposition would fund 50%, that's $2.6 billion. The opposition said that they would match. Match means you give the companies money. Where would they get the money from? Isn't it the consolidated fund to invest in their employees? I don't know if they didn't know what match meant. But if I was an employer and the government says that they're going to match what I spend, I'd be expecting a check from the government. Okay. All right, so that's 2.6.
My God. I'm sorry for that lady. I'm sorry for that lady. I know. Really sorry for her.
Madam Speaker, the opposition also said
match means money.
They would remove all taxes on laptops and tablets for students and teachers. Madam Speaker, I'm not one to boast, but this government, this Prime Minister Andrew Holness-led government, has invested dollars in tablets, laptops.
We've lost them. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. Look like we've lost them. We lost them over there, so too? You see any freezing over there, sir? Look like we have lost the feed. Hoping that it'll come back pretty soon. Let's see what's happening here. See if I can find it back somewhere else. See if I can find it back. Yeah, man. We're listening. Well, look like it gone everywhere. Too much rubbish. The minister says match means money.
And classrooms. Since COVID 2020.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do he meditate day and night. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show on Caribbean Radio HD and on Portland Spice TV at YouTube. We're listening to the Minister of Finance, Honorable Favour Williams, closing the budget debate in the Parliament, Kingston, Jamaica.
Equipment since we have been in government. Madam Speaker, since 2020, we've been rolling out broadband internet service to schools at no cost to parents or teachers or students. As of today, about 680 schools have free Wi-Fi inside and outside of classrooms. And when we're done, every school will have Wi-Fi inside and outside. That's not a promise. That's a commitment. And we back it up with an annual allocation year in, year out. And oh yes, Madam Speaker, how could I forget? We have 379 community Wi-Fis or hotspots right across Jamaica. At the last count, the Social Development Commission, the SCC, the principal community organization agency working with communities, said there are 775 communities across Jamaica. So, Madam Speaker, if my math is right, that puts this Dr. Andrew Holness-led government at 49% of communities across Jamaica with community Wi-Fis. Never before in the history of Jamaica has this happened. So, Madam Speaker, the bottom line, the PNP's promises, and I didn't even take all of them into consideration, is $48.8 billion. $48.8 billion. So, Madam Speaker, let's do.
Seems like we're losing them again. Getting some drop off from Garden House in Kingston. That's where we're getting the signal from. Let's hope it is back in short order as we listen to the first female finance minister in Jamaica, Honorable Favour Williams, closing the budget debate as they give the figures for 2025-2026 budget debates. And I am vigiling a lot of beating for Favour after this because she's making a lot of mistakes. She said Julian Robinson said that he would give back the asset tax to the banks. And we saw the opposition leader rising on a point of order because that was not said. He said he would phase it out over 5 years. And she's also saying that everything that the opposition present was to be done in the first year. And that was never the intention. Hello, good evening.
Colin.
Yes, man. Welcome to welcome to Caribbean Radio HD.
I mean, I understand you. I listen and why the PNP not getting up in Parliament and defending what the lady is saying?
No.
She's talking all facts, Colin. You guys are so delusional.
She's talking all what?
Paper.
Hold on. She's talking what?
Colin, all are facts. Why the PNP not getting up now and defending it?
Hold on. Did Julian Robinson said that he was going to give back the asset tax to the banks?
Me never hear that. Me not hear that.
But she said that though. She said Julian said that.
Then Colin, when I'm asking you, why them not get up and say something?
Mark Golden did rise on a point of order, my brother.
But why is she still continuing to say it?
Right. So you hear what the Speaker of the House said. You heard what the Speaker of the House said to Mark Golden?
What she said?
She said to Mark Golden that this is not a cross the table debate. I have allowed you. Hold on. I have allowed you to rise on a point of order twice. But
you know,
So what she's saying to Mark Walden is, listen,
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna rule upon you, so I'm not gonna really even want to allow you to rise anymore. So the Speaker of the House is willing to accept whatever Favour Williams said. But the good thing about it is we are living in the digital age. So you know that after she finish, everything is going to be sliced and diced. And what Julian said in the parliament is going to come to the fore. And what she accused him of saying is going to come to the fore. This is the digital age. So analog politicians will get beaten.
Colin.
Yeah.
Colin, did you watch the Prime Minister debate the other day?
All of it.
You see those facts all the way from back, Colin?
No, not all facts. Lot of lies and lot of misinformation. But if you want to debate it, we can debate it. Make we try finish, listen what she has said, and then we can debate it, all right? So stay tuned. We can debate it. Everything is on tape, people. Lest we forget.
Madam Speaker.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Caribbean Radio HD.
Comrade Colin, I show him on this.
Yeah, man. Show him, man. Make we listen to Favour and then we talk, yeah?
Yeah, come on, take you on, because you have Bill Cleed after the chat here, rubbish and Ralston,
All right, make we listen to Favour and then we talk.
All right, show
All
him.
right. All right, you make we listen to Favour.
Madam Speaker. Let's do.
And keep dropping off. I don't know what is happening with the signal this evening. Just keep dropping. Let's see if we find it somewhere else. Let's go back and look again. Because we want Favour clear. We don't want a problem, you know.
I often see people turn to Word when they need to create.
We don't want no problem with Favour. We want to hear everything.
Let's do.
Whoa. Still dropping. Dropping right there, so. We're following the end of the budget debate. So after Favour speaks today, that will be the end of that aspect. Then we're going to have the sectoral debates to come, where the ministers will present, and the opposition spokesman will also present. So we have that to come. You're listening to Caribbean Radio HD, the Colin Bell Show. We do it every Tuesday and Wednesday from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. in the U.S., 4 to 6 right here in Jamaica. And of course, as we said, this is the final of the budget presentation. I don't even like call it a debate. It's a presentation. So you have the Minister of Finance who goes first. Then you have the opposition spokesman who goes next. Then you have the opposition leader. Then the Prime Minister. And then the Finance Minister comes back with a rebuttal. And that is what is happening today. Favour Williams' rebuttal of the budget presentation 2025-26. Don't know. It's stuck. That's all. Really stuck. Really stuck. That's all. So we're trying to sort out the feed problem. Start having a problem with the feed. Trying to sort that out. And let me see where else we can find it. Because we can look at a number of places for it. All right, so let's look for another live stream. Here's one. See if we can get it on here, because we're not telling, we're not bother with the ear, so we want to hear it for ourselves. Nats, can you check out up there, so if you're hearing anti-Favour for me when it starts flow? It's not flowing down here, so can you just check out anti-Favour up there, so for me, so I can know when it start flow. Can search for it and find it somewhere else for me, so that we can have our listeners. We did carry the leader of opposition presentation, and we're doing our best now to carry anti-favor. But for those two callers, we basically Saturday morning presented a program that tells you about where the funding for what the opposition put forward would come from. Also, it is clear, I played parts of an interview with the opposition leader last week where he said that the presentation from himself and Julian Robinson were presentation for a PNP administration, not for the fiscal year 2025-2026. Because what they were saying is that whatever the government put forward for 25-26 is already in the budget. So that would be the budget whenever the election is called, if the PNP win. That is the budget put forward by this present administration that will run 2025-2026. That budget will be passed today. So to try to tell people that this is the budget for 2025, the PNP, 2025-2026, the PNP is putting forward, is rather disingenuous. And basically telling us that you're taking people for fool. That's basically what I'm saying, you know. Because people must believe that two budget can go for 1 year. Not no go so. The budget that they are putting forward, that the government has laid out. And if you listen to the Prime Minister, where the Prime Minister layout is not for this year. Because he'd have tell you in how much of the thing them are next year and within the next 2 years. The only person who really laid out a budget for this year was Favour as the finance minister. Because that is the budget that will be passed and activated for Jamaica. So, we're having some problem with that. But one of the things that I want all who are planning to call me want to take me on. And when you come prepare to take on this. 4 billion Jamaican dollars was allocated to starting under the Ministry of Finance for a national census, a population census. We want answers for that $4 billion from 2022-2023. No census have been completed. Somebody must come to the Jamaican people and tell us about that $4 billion. It can't go so. Can't go so. I'm very uncomfortable though, because you see, presentations like these, I can't afford to miss them. Nobody not supposed to tell me what Favour say. So right now, not hearing Favour Williams, I am uncomfortable. So you're going to realize that I am going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying. And it is buffing at the same place. And then buffing at the same place. What is this? And then me think Natalie that help me. But she not help me. It buffing up the Soto?
And made into a budget.
All right, so that's going back. That's the start. Yeah, that sounds like the start. PBCJ Live. Let me see. Looking for it somewhere else. President Wagwan. I'm trying to find anti-flaval. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Everywhere I go, it buffing. Yeah, man. All right, my brother, it buffing. So we're still waiting. Keep watching that for minutes and let me know whenever time it come up. So, all right. So, shower man, you can call me then. Later on at about 6:30 US time, 5:30 in Jamaica, we're going to be talking to Hubert Williams, the PNP Deputy Shadow Minister on Agriculture and the MP candidate for Western St. Thomas. Boy, we hear him lay out some things Sunday night, ready to take it to James Robertson. Caribbean Radio, good evening. We're taking your calls. 804-7072. 305-654-7944. We are on Caribbean Radio Live. I beg you to give me a subscription over Portland Spice TV, please. Portland Spice TV at YouTube. That's my YouTube channel. We're asking for a subscription over there. On our way to 4,000 subscribers. So we're asking everybody to go over Portland Spice TV and give us a subscription. We're talking about budget. It's budget season. And as I said to you, so far for the time that I've listened to Flaval, she have made some misrepresentation. And I know that if you follow social media, you are going to see them because some of them are blatant. The one that she said, Julian said he was going to give back the asset tax to the banks. And she went as far as asked, when you go and give it back, you have to stop, take it before you give it back. That's blatant. Julian never said anything of the sort. Julian Robinson said that he was going to phase out the asset tax over a 5 years period. So that's a tax that the government takes from the banks. And the banks are saying that them now want lower interest rate. That is something that the government needs to look at. Now, another thing that we have to talk about, and when Hubert Williams come on, we're going to talk about that. Moving GCT from imported raw food. Why would you want to do that? And then that now shows that the government is not interested in growing the agricultural industry. Those money should stay. Them they stay upon the raw food as a sort of a protection for local farmers, that local farmers will have a chance to sell their produce. And we must encourage people to buy from the local farmers. Yeah? Can't be about allowing foreign goods to come in and dominate the local market. Cannot be. We have to invest in our farmers, develop countries, subsidize their farmers. That's what the developed countries do. They ensure that them farmers can farm and produce food to feed their country. And when them have excess, then them sell it to us cheap. So them it's called dumping. Them dump the excess per we and kill our market. Marcia Morgan, good evening. Good evening, Arlene. Sister Tanya, good evening. Welcome. Brother Lee Fort, big up yourself, sir. Yeah, man. Lee Croft, sorry. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Caribbean Radio HD.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Bill.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as you talk about the farming now.
Yeah.
Right? As a farmer, my 2 cents on the farming.
Talk to me.
On the farming. What the government could do, you know, and what the government could do when they come into power, the PMP, when they come into power, set up cold storage.
Yeah, man. That have
right.
Storage. Not just cold storage, but you have dry storage too.
Right. And then the local farmer, them know, will any amount I think cabbage, any amount of carrot and so they farm Irish potato, then can bring it go there.
Yes.
And then now the hotel then can get the supply from there.
Like when we did have the AMC.
Right. So and that will create more employment because you got have people I work at them storage like when the hotel them send in their order.
Yeah.
To prepare them their stuff. If they want carrot, cabbage, Irish potato and whatever. So the people them are going to prepare the order there to deliver to the hotel.
All right, sir.
So you're find it now. Say if any amount of I think any amount of stuff you plant, or if me plant 3 acres cabbage and you plant 3 acres and the next man plant 3 acres, them have no problem to get it sell.
Yeah, man. Plus,
And
you
the
have to deal with organized farming. You can't have everybody plant the cabbage at the same time.
Right.
You have to stagger the planting so cabbage come in constant and we don't have this glut on the market. But I get a message say Favor come back. So I could go listen what Favor say and then we can talk.
Okay, am I 2 cents that? So that are my 2 cents, right?
All right, sir, cool.
Yeah, man, respect.
Yeah. So Favor is back me here. So I could go there, no? I could go there. Because that is important this evening.
I say to all Jamaicans, may the Lord bless you
Don't she
and
done?
keep you.
So like she done.
May the Lord cause his face
To shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
And be gracious unto you. May the Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. God bless Jamaica. Land we love. We choose Jamaica. Thank you.
My girl.
It's story time.
Members.
So like she finish.
One behavior, both sides.
Madam Speaker.
Members, Minister Williams still has something more before concluding.
Madam
Just allow her to
Speaker,
finish.
As we conclude the debate, I ask that the bill shortly entitled the Appropriation Act 2025 be read a second time.
The question is that the bill shortly entitled the Appropriations Act 2025.
All right, so I'm going to tell you something if you don't understand now. What is happening here
favor?
now?
Those against, the ayes have it, Clark.
That's the budget now becomes
An
law.
act to apply a sum out of the consolidated fund to service of the year ending on the 31st day of March 2026.
Yeah.
And to appropriate the sums granted in this session of Parliament read a second time.
So this
the House will now resolve
budget,
itself into a committee of the whole House.
the budget that has been presented by Favor Williams, now it is going to become law. Yeah? So, therefore, understand how Parliament works. Mark Golding, Julian Robinson, never need to put a budget for this year because this is the spending. What the PNP put forward, and even Andrew Holness, as you hear Andrew at the end of it say it's a prospective ex-GLP administration. That's what Andrew put forward. What Mark and Julian also put forward was the plans for the PNP administration for the next 4 or 5 years. So, Favor, you're disingenuous. Caribbean Radio,
afternoon.
evening. Yeah, man, welcome.
Good afternoon. You give it 2 hours at the PNP. We need 2 hours at the JP.
But she finished.
We want no bits and pieces.
Hold on. She's finished, my brother. Her budget present. What
But
this is,
we
you know.
need to hear it too.
Hold on, man.
From the JLP side.
But you're not easy. You want to hear something when it exists? Listen to what I'm saying to you. This evening is the rebuttal. She could have gone longer, but obviously she chose not to go long because she started at 2 o'clock, you know. But just that the program starts at 5. So in fact, she started at 3 o'clock your time in the US. So, but our program here starts at 5, so we just catch her from where the program start. That's what we did with Mark Golding as well. You realize? I didn't give you 2. Hold on. I didn't give you 2 hours of Mark Golding either. No, it was not. It was about 45 minutes to an hour.
Get 2 hours of it.
I did not play 2 hours of Mark Golding because when Mark Golding
1 hour there.
About an hour, somewhere close to an hour. Yes.
All right, we need 1 hour at the JLP.
We'll have a call back for you and tell her to talk longer because she don't talk.
Okay.
She finished talk. But you like her talk? You like what she said?
Well, we need something from that side.
You want so? All right, no problem. We can play something from that side one of the evening.
From that side.
All right.
All right.
Blessings. Man say want to hear something from the GLP side. 305-654-7944. That's one of the numbers to call, or you can call me at 876-804-7072. This is the digital age, you know. So analog politicians will get a beating. Because whatever you say in this day and age is recorded and it is on all kind of space in the cloud, in a data, and it can come back easily. So when you misrepresent somebody who spoke in the parliament, Brother Aubrey, I saw somebody else a while ago that I never big up. Oh, Sister Nicole, bless your heart. Welcome to Caribbean Radio HD. Good evening. Turn off your instrument in the background. Listen to me through your telephone. Wagwan, talk to me.
Yeah, then what you just as the gentleman said, you pay for the whole of the PFP one right here. I know the JLP attack, you pay a bit and bit. That no fear.
What you talking about?
You make me hear the whole of the PMP, you shall make me hear the whole of the labor too.
My brother, what happened? This was a live excerpt from, that was coming live from the parliament.
You stop it.
Me not stop it. It finished. The lady finished.
You never want to listen to it.
Oh God. All right, my boss.
You didn't want to listen to it, and that's not right for the people.
No,
if
but
if you're gonna play for one party, you play for the two parties too. If you say you have for the people and not the party them, so play for the people and the people here too.
You finish?
That look like bias. That look like bias, Colin. We hear the whole of the PMP. Just hear for the whole of the labor. You keep on talking. When the labor them attack and cut off something and then you have a talk. She done? She finished? Oh, you don't do that, man. That's not right, my brother.
All right. Let me tell you something.
That's not right.
All right, cool. All right.
You deal fair. If you deal with the people, you deal with the people, make everybody here share the people. It's the two things. Let them decide what they want to do. But you play, when PMP attack, you know, make no cutting it. And when labor attack, no, you cut it. That's not right, man. That's why things you go breaching. Let them here and the people them decide.
If me did bias like you, I said me cut you off long time. But listeners, the budget presentation, Favour Williams has finished her presentation in the parliament. So in terms of the budget presentation, she's finished. The House is now move on to making that bill a law. So that's no longer the presentation. What I carried from Mark Golding was the last part of his speech. This was the last part of Favor's speech. Parliament starts in Jamaica at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the US. The regular part, them we know. We know US have a whole heap of different time zone, right? So when we join you at 5 o'clock, we join with Favor already spoke for about close to 2 hours, right? So when we join her, she never go long because this evening is a rebuttal. Not she wouldn't go as long as she'd use for her first presentation. I didn't carry Julian Robinson because Julian Robinson came on a Thursday and we're not on a Thursday. I didn't carry the Prime Minister because the Prime Minister came on a Thursday and we're not on a Thursday. So I carried Mark Wolin who came on a Tuesday and Faval now. But Faval not got so long today. Samoa go on.
Mr. Bell,
Yeah, man.
you wasting energy on those stupid
No, don't call
people, man.
No, man. Don't call them stupid or dunce, man. Them just not understand.
Mr. Bell.
Yes, sir.
If you explain, say your program, them start at 3 and your program start at 5. And the person go talk for 45 is your program. What more do you expect you to do?
Can't do nothing more.
So they are stupid.
No, me not
They are
call them.
stupid.
No, sir. Me no want you
Mr. Bell,
start. No, me no want you
Mr.
start.
Bell, explain to me.
They are ignorant. They are ignorant. They don't understand, my brother.
Stupid is stupid, man.
Make a move on from them. Me take me beat up, man.
Mr. Bell.
Yes, sir.
So, you know when people stupid? When people go back to something a week ago, right? I refer to it, right? If you have enough sense to know what took place last week, we have enough sense to know what took place this week.
All right, sir.
So they are stupid.
All right, make a move
that's
on.
Why they can say, that's why they sell them with $3 and $5 next year, then they'll be hungry. They are stupid.
No, man, make a move on from that. Talk to me where you call
All
about.
right,
I'm
next,
sure
next
I know
thing,
that you
next
call
thing.
about. Melrose, evening.
Yeah. I hear the lady say the PMP never give no numbers.
Right.
On the budget. When PMP within September, how much what budget they going go offer?
When who?
They're going to take a new budget.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to explain. And Sam, we are here to teach, you know. So we can't come on and expect that everybody know everything. So we have to be patient.
But when you teach somebody and you repeat the same thing 3 times, and then still ask them, I said, that means they don't want to learn.
No, man, they must,
so you shut them off and
no,
move
but you need to put them in our class where the teacher have a cane. Around belt name Nurse Jenkel.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, man.
So that's alone, but that's alone to show you that even Favor and the jail people were tempted a little this. Doesn't understand budget work.
You see, but one of the things where them not realize.
From March to March.
You see, one of the things that they're not realizing. Favor were asked a set of questions earlier, you know. And she couldn't answer them, you know. And like how them want, you know, like how them want to hear Favor, like when I want to go back to that set of questions. Hold on, Sam. Caribbean Radio HD, good evening.
You know what in tape?
Yes, man.
You couldn't tape it, I'm back to hear the tape.
Then it's not tape, but you can't go listen it on YouTube to your tape, you know. It depends on tape, but man.
You should tape it and make we hear. We are depend on you to hear on that side. Your duty is to bring it to we.
Hold on. I'm going to play some more of Favor. You want to hear Favor? I'm going to play some more of Favor.
We need some tape. We need some tape. You should have the tape it and bring it to we.
All right, sir. All right. Are you sure? So if you say tape it and bring it to you?
Yes.
All right.
Your job that. Tape it and bring it to we.
All right,
when
sir.
When time come now, we can't get the tape.
All right, cool. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Caribbean Radio HD, good evening. Because oh, it's all right. Hello, good evening. Well, you see, it's the people show, you know. But I don't want nobody abuse me when you don't understand what is happening. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, man.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that little idiot that was going
Hey,
for a while ago.
no, hold on, no, me not do that, you know. Me not doing that. Me not styling nobody on the show. You understand? Me could deal with each other with respect and honor. If somebody don't understand something, then not understand. We are here to lift up each other and teach each other, educate each other. Some people head tough than some, brother. Like how you need to turn off the instrument in your background and just listen by your phone. How much you hear me say that?
All right, yeah, hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell the man nothing and the man a question 1 million times. I tell you, tape, him never TV here.
No, man, I saw it go sometime. Man just
want...
want...
Come here, listen to the program, and brother, and the man just person I tell you, tape like him never TV here.
All right, sir. Some of them don't understand how to get it, so they come here for their information. I will want to give it to them, all right?
Well, so sure go and listen, man.
Respect.
When the man come and go on like they want you to teach them, tell the man and say, Yannick's call.
All right, cool. Watch this now. All right. So we want to help everybody to understand. Everybody we want to help to understand.
We see our customer.
So we not quarrel with nobody. We don't want nobody call and disrespect nobody, call nobody names. You understand? We have built a family over here, so when people have to learn, people have to learn. You know, we don't have no problem with people learning what we're doing. Hold on there. Where's favor there, so now?
Thank you, Minister. Questions and answers to questions.
Hear this.
Motions that may be made at the commencement of public business requiring notice. Motions relating to the sitting of the House. Motions for leave to introduce bills.
I want to see where
Presentation of bills without leave of the House first obtained. Minister.
Madam Speaker, I now move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take the motion, notice of which I gave earlier.
Man say want hear favor. So we are play some more favor theme. And for everybody, because this segment here is vital.
Members,
this is a segment.
The question is that the standing orders be suspended to allow the minister to take first reading of the bill. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. That is as it relates to large-scale projects and Pioneer Industries Tax Relief Act 2025.
So this is where they're removing the taxes from raw food, and they're moving taxes also from armored vehicles. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Bridget.
Yeah, man.
We just a call to tell you, say, the way you run your program, brother, I respect you. You're a real comrade. Keep it up.
Big up yourself, man. Thanks. All right. Cool. Yeah, man. I respect we deal with for everybody, yeah? Everybody we are deal with respect. We don't want to disrespect nobody. So they're moving concession from armored vehicles so that the security forces can carry an armored vehicle with no duty.
I now move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take the first reading of a bill.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Wagwan.
Yeah, man. you see some people now go learn, Mr. Colin.
Mm.
Not care how you teach them, because they have one thing in their mind, say, they want to burn you out because you're a socialist.
Yeah.
So they find everything to say you're wrong, So people like them now go learn, but just go and do your show, man.
All right,
Go
my
and do
brother.
your show. You don't say, Mr. Trump say one thing. Mr. Trump say, it's easy to convince a bright, smart person. But it's not easy to convince an idiot.
All right, little more.
Big up yourself.
Cool. Let in favor, man.
Bill,
Sure.
shortly entitled The Large-Scale Projects and Pioneer Industries Tax Relief Act 2025.
A bill shortly entitled the Large Scale Projects and Pioneer Industries Tax Relief Act 2025, read a first time.
Minister.
Madam Speaker, I now move that a bill shortly entitled The Large-Scale Projects and Pioneer Industries Tax Relief Act 2025 be read a first time.
Second.
A second time, sorry, be read a second time.
So, Minister. Marshall, a moment, please.
So, we're just trying to get to
Madam
this.
Speaker,
Here
I
we go.
beg to give notice of the reading of the bill.
Boy, I don't know why the clip is giving me so much trouble to play. Hey. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know why I'm trying so hard to play this clip here, But it's an important clip, as you hear me talking about moving the duty, the GCT, from raw food coming into the country. It is very, very dangerous in my view that we want to give foreign goods that preference to come into Jamaica, and we can't really match the foreign producers. We can't match the foreign producers them no time at all as it relates to producing food. And therefore, what this will do is drive our farmers out of the business. And as I said, at 5:30, 6:30 in the US, we're going to be talking to Hubert Williams. Hubert Williams is the Deputy Shadow Minister of Agriculture. And we're going to be talking to him. And he's the PNP candidate for St. Thomas Western. And we want to talk to him as it relates to his plans for St. Thomas. A speech that he made Sunday night. That speech was really a big speech down there in St. Thomas. And therefore, we want to talk about that with him. And as soon as we get that chance, we're still trying to sort out this clip here because some critical questions were also asked of the Minister of Finance as it relates to the removal of the GCT from raw foods coming into the island, how that will be dealt with, and then shockingly, the removal is retroactive, and that is one of the shocking part. That is one of the shocking part. That is one of the shocking part, that it's retroactive. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, good evening.
This thing not there on YouTube. The debate not there on YouTube.
Brother, no, you're going too far. Go look for it on YouTube, man. You go look for it.
No, me have to be there on YouTube.
Yeah, man, it's on YouTube. Go and go look for it. All right? PBCJ.
Okay.
Type in PBCJ and you'll find it. All right. Because, you know what, give me special work. Me must go find this for you. Yeah. Big time. Me must go find it for him. It's on YouTube.
Thank you, House Leader, Minister.
Madam Speaker.
We have the minister now.
Notice of which I gave earlier.
So, Minister, if that's okay, I will take the general consumption tax. The question is that the standing orders be suspended to enable the minister to take the motion notice of which she gave earlier. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
Madam Speaker, the matter before us is the general consumption tax, amendment of Schedules Order 2025, and its resolution, which supports revenue measures for financial year 2024-2025, included in Ministry Paper number 11/24. The measures being proposed are aimed at bolstering the private security industry amidst the increase in targeted attacks on entities providing armored cash courier services, in addition to ensuring compliance with Jamaica's international trade obligations. Madam Speaker, I will give an overview of the measures. The first measure revises the tax structure for the importation of armored cash courier vehicles. Madam Speaker, the numerous gun attacks, ambush, and robbery attempts on the armored cash courier industry has negatively impacted the private security industry. These attacks have impacted the companies providing cash courier services by significantly increasing their operational risk and exposing frontline officers to harm. The attacks have also had a negative effect on the routine servicing of automated banking machines, hampering the delivery of cash to the general public. Madam Speaker, in an effort to facilitate investment in assets that are purpose-built for the transportation of cash and other values, the government has taken the decision to remove the GCT and SCT from armored vehicles and the added cost of armoring a vehicle. The details of the measures are as follows. The second schedule of the GCT Act is being amended to enable armored vehicles to be subject to special consumption tax SCT at a rate of 0%. This will apply to armored vehicles with a cost, insurance, and freight CIF value in excess of US $33,000 to be utilized in providing an armored cash courier service, and the added cost of armoring a vehicle, that is, to render the vehicle fit for use as an armored vehicle for the specific use as an approved cash courier. This Honorable House, Madam Speaker, is asked to note that Part 1 of the third schedule is being amended to exempt from GCT payment armored vehicles with a cost, insurance, and freight CIF value in excess of $33,000 to be utilized in providing armored cash courier services. Secondly, the amendment will also exempt the added cost of armoring a vehicle to render it fit for use as an armored vehicle imported for the specific use of providing armored cash courier services. Madam Speaker, the measure is intended to be temporary, and as such, the effective period for the relief is between April 1, 2024 to March 31, 2026. It is therefore being encouraged that entities engaged in the cash courier service utilize this period of GCT and SCT relief to upgrade their fleet and invest in purpose-built vehicles. Madam Speaker, I will now move to the second measure addressed by this order, which is the standardizing of Jamaica's general consumption tax GCT treatment on raw foodstuff. Madam Speaker, by virtue of Jamaica's membership to the World Trade Organization, WTO, the country is not allowed to implement internal tax measures designed to protect domestically produced products. The utilization of GCT, which is an internal tax currently charged on imported raw foodstuff, but not on locally produced raw foodstuff, could be interpreted as a measure that gives protection to domestically produced raw foodstuff. Madam Speaker, this is considered an uncompetitive practice from the perspective of international trade, and Jamaica risks, at the very least, jeopardizing the relationships with its trading partners. In light of this, Madam Speaker, we are amending the third schedule of the GCT Act to equalize the tax treatment for both domestically produced and imported raw foodstuff. Therefore, both domestically produced and imported raw foodstuff will now be exempt from the payment of GCT. Madam Speaker, this amendment applies generally to the
Yeah. Yeah, hear me.
Yeah, man. Me could finish this and then we talk, man. Me could finish the clip here where we play, right?
Oh.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Me could finish the clip and then we talk.
This amendment applies generally to the following items: fresh fruit and vegetables, ground provisions, legumes, onions and garlic, meat, chicken, fish, crustacean or mollusks, and corn. Madam Speaker, it should be noted that items previously not considered raw food and subject to GCT will continue to remain subject to the tax. Madam Speaker, although we are removing the GCT on imported raw food stuff, this Honorable House should note that the items in question still attract taxes, primarily common external tariff, CET, and additional stamp duty. The removal of the GCT on imported raw foodstuff preserves our international trading relationships by removing the risk that Jamaica will face trade sanctions from other member states as a result of the discriminatory treatment applied to imported raw foodstuff. In concluding, Madam Speaker, the measures included in this order aim to facilitate investment in the armored cash courier industry and to remove any unnecessary risk to our international trade profile due to distortionary GCT practices. The House is therefore being asked to approve the General Consumption Tax Amendment of Schedules Order 2025 resolution.
So, House Leader, response is that. Member from St. Andrews Southeastern will respond.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. On the first measure, the opposition has no objection to it. We recognize the importance of cash in our society, and we're fully aware of the number of incidents where cash courier companies have been attacked, people have been killed, and the impact that that has had on the ability of banks to restock their ATM.
Listeners and viewers, we're going to be taking a break on Caribbean Radio right now. We come back in a few. We're going to be taking some messages at Caribbean Radio HD. Soon come back.
And ensure that there is adequate cash. So any measure which facilitates those companies having more armored trucks is certainly something that we would support, and we do. Madam Speaker, on the second measure, we do have concerns about the removal of GCT on imported raw food items. My first question to the Minister: can you indicate which countries, if any, raised an objection to this? And did these objections take place within the ambit of the World Trade Organization, which has a process to deal with objections of this nature? And if you could indicate where within the process that objection got to and whether there was a resolution. I raise this because the removal of GCT on imported items has the potential to negatively impact the local agricultural sector. Notwithstanding what anybody wants to say, we know that developed countries subsidize their agricultural industry to an extent that we don't, very heavily. And I assume there was some pressure brought on the government to undertake this measure. We operate, trade operates within a rules-based environment. So I want to know who raised the objection, where within the WTO process we got to, what was Jamaica's defense, whether the advice taken to remove the GCT was something done in consultation with the AG's department and other stakeholders, because we don't have a level playing field in this world, and we don't want to undertake measures which will negatively impact our local industry. I know this was introduced by your predecessor. We raised the concerns then. There really wasn't any satisfactory answer provided as to why we were being forced to take this measure. But now that we're here, I would like some answers on that particular issue.
The terrible situation that has been faced by them with the multiple robberies of ATMs and of armored vehicles arriving to either deliver or remove cash. So I don't think anybody in the House would have an issue with that. I also want to endorse a concern raised by my colleague, the member for Western St. Andrew, in relation to the timing of the implementation of this amendment to the GCT Act, third schedule. As has been said, we are now in an era where measures including tariffs, but also not limited to tariffs, all sorts of measures affecting trade are being touted, being pushed, being considered, and it's a very unsettled environment because we don't know where it's all going to end. In the meantime, we are removing a protective measure that was in place for the benefit of local producers of food and exposing them to the loss of that protection. Yes, there may be other import duties and charges that the importers of these items will have to pay. But as has been said, it is well established that for some of our trading partners, there are heavy subsidies that their producers enjoy from the states in which those countries, those producers are.
Welcome back to my listeners on Caribbean Radio HD. You're listening to the Leader of Opposition posing a question to the Minister of Finance as it regards the removal of GCT from raw foods and armored vehicles.
Premature. And although it was announced in the budget debate a year ago, and it's only coming here now, it seems to me that much has changed since then in terms of the international environment concerning trade. And I think we would be well advised to wait to see how the dust settles before we rush to implement this permanently in our law. And I also endorsed and would like to I would also like to endorse and look forward to hearing the answers to the questions as to how this particular measure originated. You know, who was bringing pressure against Jamaica on this issue? Which country or countries? Where did it reach in the WTO system? What was Jamaica's stance in relation to any proceedings, if any, that were brought in the WTO system? How were those proceedings or that complaint or complaints, how were they resolved? You know, all we heard was that these protective measures were being removed, but we've never had a satisfactory answer as to why this has happened. And I look forward to the answer to that. There's one other point I wish to make, Madam Speaker, and it is this. These measures are having retroactive effect. So the armored vehicles,
hold on, caller.
the dispensation or the exemption, the zero rating, whatever it is, under the second schedule, which I assume is the SCT, and under the third schedule, the exemption under the third schedule, is taking effect from, in one instance, April 1, 2020.
We see our customers at...
Hold on for me, caller. Let's just finish this clip from the leader of opposition, and then we get the answer from Anti-Faval as well.
Similarly, the exemption in relation to the raw foods, whether it be meats or vegetables, is taking effect July 1, 2024. Now, I have to ask, what is the situation in relation to the imports which have taken place up to this date, or up to the effective date of this order? Was GCT collected or not on these items? If GCT was not collected on these items, what was the legal basis for it not being collected? Because I'm not aware of any provisional collection of tax act orders coming here to, for approval to implement on a temporary basis these measures. Normally, under the provisional collection of tax act, the minister can vary a tax or levy a tax, but it lasts for a finite period of time and then expires unless it comes here and is approved by the House. No such orders have come in relation to this, to the best of my knowledge. So my question is, what was the situation in relation to these imports during the period from these dates, which they're the effective dates of the order, April 1 in some instances, July 1 in others from last year, up to the time of the effective date of this order. And this order is dated March 19th. And I believe it takes effect on that date, subject to being approved here affirmatively. So I want to know, was GCT collected on these imports in the intervening period? If the answer is yes, what was the, or if the answer is no, it was not collected, then what was the legal grounds or basis upon which it was not collected by customs at the wharf? And if it was collected, with this measure now taking effect retroactively, what is going to happen to the revenue that was collected? Are we now exposed to having to refund these people for the GCT that was paid on these imports? There's a lot to be answered in relation to this, Madam Speaker, and I look forward to hearing the responses, or perhaps we should suspend the debate of this measure to give some time to the Minister to look into these very important issues. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Let's see if we get an answer from the Minister.
Madam Speaker.
Minister Mike.
Madam Speaker, I ask the House to recall that the GCT measures were announced by the former Minister Clark as part of the revenue measures of 2024-25, and they were not made into law. It is my understanding as well, with regards to specific countries that object. I understand from our technical persons that all of this happened when Jamaica was doing the review of our trade policy, and this came up by the reviewer. Jamaica's trade policy was being reviewed by the WTO and it was noted. It was not a specific country, but by way of the process of review. The UK and the EU asked that we correct all measures inconsistent with our WTO obligations, and this happened in 2024. It started. So it started, Madam Speaker, with the WTO reviewer in November of 2023, and UK and EU comments occurred in July, August of 2024. Madam Speaker, there are some other questions that the members asked. In order to get those responses, Madam Speaker, I'm going to ask that the debate be suspended until further notice. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
All right, so Auntie Faval there, responding to one of the questions as it relates to which country was pressuring Jamaica to remove the GCT from raw food and vegetables. And basically, she's saying that no country really requested it, but it was upon review of the World Trade Organization treaty that the reviewer was saying that, hey, them did it. And then the UK and the EU is saying that we must adhere to all the rules and regulations. So nobody's really pressuring us. So why is it that we are so insistent on doing this? Cynthia, good evening. Sister Velma Gale, how you doing, sweetheart? Caribbean Radio HD. We're talking about current events, things that was just said in the Jamaican House of Representatives by our parliamentarians. And we're basically taking that. We carried some of Faval Williams live at 5:30, 6:30 your time in the US. We're going to be talking to Hubert Williams. He's the MP candidate for Western St. Thomas, going up against the mighty James Robertson. Man say him no fear, no guy. 804-7072, 305-654-7944. That's 305-654-7944. 876-804-7072. We're taking your calls right now, and we're doing that till we get up to 5:30, where we're going to be joined by Hubert Williams to talk to him about his candidacy going into the general election, and of course also about the speech that he made on Sunday night. Spoke a lot of things about imported food coming into Jamaica. Jamaica's food importation bill is over $1.6 billion United States money. Yeah. $1.6 billion worth of food we are importing into Jamaica. Hold on, see Willia. You ready? If you're ready. All right. No problem. No problem. All right. So we're going to talk to him a little earlier than that. No, but when him say no, but a little earlier. I'll give him our next 10 minutes and then we bring him on, because Sunday night, the brother was on fire. Sunday night down at St. Thomas. I talk up the things them. He need a play. Need a play at all. Need a play down at St. Thomas the Sunday night. I want to hear, you know. We want to hear. We want to hear him.
So my comrades, let me say something to you. We must rebuild St. Thomas. we must rebuild Western St. Thomas. And there's a way to do it. Because the present situation can't continue. We cannot limit our vision based on our present situation. So let me say something to you now. When I become member of parliament,
Let me take this call. Yeah. Hold on the Willie. 305, good evening, Caribbean Radio HD.
Good evening, Mr. Bell. Just an update. The person that asked you to take, I believe, is a blind person. That's the reason why he's asking for you to take
He's visually
the
impaired.
conversation.
That's why we have to take time with people, you know.
Yeah, he's blind, okay?
Oh, sorry about that, sir. All right. So,
okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. So we'll carry some more for him right here so he can listen to it. Obviously, him find us and he's listening to us. All right, Sister Tanya. Blessings. 804. Good evening. Wagwan, General.
Wagwan, big bro.
Me there. I listen. I was listening to Faval. Something wrong with Faval?
Let me tell you something. You know, I think we need to, as a country, we need to ensure we have a policy to deal with people who exhibit special behavior. Yeah?
Talk to me.
No disrespect to Anti-Faval. But the truth be told, I listened to her presentation in the parliament. And you can't have two budgets. You can only have one.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Exactly.
And her explanation of the opposition's presentation is woefully inadequate, because let me tell you why it's woefully inadequate. She don't know how they are going to finance the budget, because you know the problem. What about them? They don't know how the PNP going to finance it. That's their problem.
Yeah, they want to know.
And they want to know. So her assumptions is based on the basis of what she feels. Because I hear she say, in total, it's going to cost over $48 billion. But if I listen to Mark Colin and Julian Robinson, them said, let's give ourselves a space for $60 billion to spend on some of these programs. So you tell me what?
Yeah.
3 trillion unaccounted for. You can't spend 60 billion for your people?
But hold on, schoolboy, head boy. One of the things that I am calling on Anti-Faval for and the GLP, they must come to the Jamaican people now and tell us what happened to the $4 billion that was allocated for the census.
And do you know that money comes from the EP and the United Nations, UNICEF, the UNDP, the United Nations Development Program. Yeah,
that's $4 billion gone down the drain, you know?
Yeah, and she has inherited an untenable job. So instead of the minister there today to play and tweak with numbers, she must go tell the PIOJ and Statin, right, to ensure that the census is completed.
The census needs to be completed.
Right, and the people who did the census and couldn't get their money, and them come up with this excuse, but some of it was not done good. I have done many analyses, my friend. There's no accurate census. Anyway, in other parts of the world, they issue tablets for you to do this, to prove, say, do the census.
No, but my understanding is that, Andrea Williams, good evening, they were more focused on the device to collect the information than collecting the information.
What can go so?
What a piece of rubbish. When we use book and pen to do the census, we get the census done. This is the first time in the history of this country we have spent money to do a census and not get back no report. What is that?
And we're spending the most ever spent on a census, by the way, $4 billion.
$4 billion and nothing to show for it. Somebody must come talk to the people. What is?
And Colin, I have some breaking news to give your listeners.
Drop it.
When they're finished here, they could join me and Jeffrey Tavares. You go take we talk.
Yeah.
Because we have a special interview with somebody regarding the situation that has been happening at the Metro, Montego Bay Metro.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, it was headed by a blogger where Eli Clark called Keisha from the Chopping Block, Keisha Mack.
Yeah.
They're going to hear the undiluted truth.
Hold on. So Keisha Mack from the Chopping Block work with Montego Bay Metro?
She was fired last year, December, after the audit report was done on it.
So a whole heap of things to come.
Whole heap of things to come. So, brother, I'm going to give way so that brother Hubert can come through.
Yes, man.
Because what he said on Sunday, let me tell you, you have tongues wagging, coffee farmers, vote for Hubert. Onion farmers, vote for Hubert.
Farmers must now come out. It is obvious, you know, which side is supporting the farmers in Jamaica. Is one side batting for the farmers.
But we have always been with the farmers. It's been in the navel string of the PNP. You can ask you're a man from West Portland as well. You know the hills of West Portland always had the support of the PNP.
Of course.
Because the farmers were the foundation of the PNP, you know.
Yes.
That's how JS spanned across the country through the political activism of a man named Rudolph Burke.
Okay, yes.
So let me teach them history. Anyway, my brother, let me give way to the big man.
Yes, man.
Good.
We're taking a few more calls. 804-7072. 305-654-7944. But the man that would the same one take me on. Oh, him can't tell me nothing about the census. You need to tell me about the census. Your next thing I heard Faval said that the PNP going to create another FinSac 2.0. But anti-Faval, there is a FinSac 2.0 right now. SSL. So you, now the Prime Minister, not tell me nothing about SSL. What is that? That is the FinSac 2.0. And I want to tell you that an inquiry is going to be launched into the SSL saga. And I hear the GLP constantly talk about FinSac. Release the FinSac report. And let's put FinSac where it rightfully belongs. Let the chips fall where they made. The GLP have spent over $100 million into the FinSac inquiry. The people of Jamaica must call on this Andrew Holness administration to release the FinSac report. Release the information. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, Colin, good evening, bro.
Welcome.
I just have one little point to make regarding Faval's presentation.
Talk to me.
Right? I don't want to disparage. I never like to disparage, but I have to make my point. Is it that she is stupid or she just plain disingenuous?
No,
I said that to say this.
She's not stupid. She may be disingenuous, but not stupid.
Okay. As I said, I don't want to disrespect her. But the point is, not every family has the same demographic. All families are structured differently.
But hold on.
And she's quoting a figure.
Hold on. I want to tell you something about that. Because what the caller is talking about is the 1 degree per household.
Yes.
It is a Damian Crawford idea. And what it says for the first child in any family, once nobody in your family never get a degree, the first child in a family to go to you to be qualified. Because the first thing, where Faval, hey, the people are devious, you know.
That's the key word.
Because Faval said 900,000 households there, you know. So it's and you know one of the things.
But not everybody going to matriculate. Not everybody going to matriculate at the same time.
But can I tell you better than that? It is only 18% of our children who go sit CXC get 5 or more subjects.
There you go.
And that is the base for qualifying for
There you go.
university. So
There you go.
Favour, you can fool some people sometime, but you cannot fool majority
Fool
of the
everyone
people
all the
them
time.
this time.
Exactly.
So
So I
Damian
just had
Crawford
to put
says,
that out there. I just had to put that out there,
what
you know?
Damian Crawford says is the first child in every family to matriculate to university
Exactly.
will get the
Exactly.
scholarship. Will get the
Exactly.
scholarship.
Yeah, man. She sprinted like say, boy, everybody going matriculate at the same time and
Yeah,
is
man.
guaranteed to go to university.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
You see,
It's crazy. And
yeah,
is
man.
guaranteed to go to university.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
You see,
it's crazy.
Crazy, my brother. Crazy. But
tell
as
you,
I
man.
said to you earlier, it's the digital age. So she's going to get
Yes,
a
so them
meeting.
in an analog mode.
She's going
They're
to
still
get a
in the analog
meeting
mode.
because remember, all of these tapes are available now. So all of these tapes are going to come out now and match with what she said today.
Definitely, definitely.
Trouble. All right,
Definitely, my
sir.
brother.
Blessings.
Anyway, how about
Yeah, man. Thanks for the call. 804-7073. What me say? 804-7072. That's the local number. If you are overseas, call me on 305-654-7944. Caribbean Radio HD. We're also live right here. Yeah, man. And we invite everybody to go over to my YouTube channel and give me a subscription. Please and thanks. We're on our way to 4,000 subscriptions. Portland Spice TV. Subscribe, like, and share my channel. I'm also on TikTok at Colin Shakafame Bell at TikTok. Those are my angles. You can find me. I am on Facebook, Grandi Nanny, Colin Anthony, 2 separate Facebook pages that. So we're all over the place. We are on Instagram, Colin Bell at Instagram. Check us out, yeah? We're talking about Favour Williams' presentation. And yes, I am happy that the caller reminded me about that one. Favour say, and the one about every child getting a scholarship to go to university. Favour, the people around you do not think. You have to be qualified first to go university. And as it stands in Jamaica now, only 18% of our students doing CXC get 5 or more subjects in one sitting. 18%. Yeah? And it is the first child to matriculate. Not every child. You understand? Or not every family. Because, for instance, my family wouldn't benefit from that. The amount of people in my family will go to university. We wouldn't benefit. So if you have a child in university now, you wouldn't benefit. But you have your family and nobody out of your family never go to university yet. The first child that qualifies for a university will get that scholarship. And we will do it. We can't afford not to do that. It is too expensive not to do that. Anti-Favour. We have to do it. Anti-Favour match up the PNP plans, but it never match up the Prime Minister plan. Let us see if we get Willie now. Because this evening we want to talk to this man here. The real big man out of Western St. Thomas. We want to hear his plans. Him lay out some things Sunday night that we have questions about. Who is carrying in the most onion in a Jamaica? We have to talk about that. Why is St. Thomas that he referred to as a natural onion habitat not getting the kind of support? He also said that when there's a glut, the man sending truck and buy it have cheap $40 a pound, store it, and then he can sell it back at $300 a pound. Serious argument delivered by Hubert Ryan Williams on Sunday night. So, we're calling for some answers as it relates to the population census in Jamaica. We are not pleased that $4 billion was allocated to we are not pleased that $4 billion was allocated to complete the population census. $4 billion. And that was from 2022, 2023. And to date, Tanya, the country of Jamaica has not gotten a report on the census. Well, we get some report, but we have not gotten the numbers. Thank you, Andrea Williams, for the call earlier. Bless you. So, these are some things that some people need to come talk to about. We want to hear about these things because we hear about another FinSac 2.0. But I can tell Jamaica that Jamaica is in a financial crisis 2.0, one that is now brought on us by the same people who brought it on in 2010, 2011. And I I found a clip. I found a clip, you know. I found a clip, you know, that not a lot of people remember. Not a lot of people go and let them know that this clip here exists. So the Prime Minister spoke about fiscal discipline in Jamaica and how the Jamaican economy recovered and the fiscal discipline was set. You good? Hello? Yeah, man, you ready? All right, hold the line for me. So, when him talk about fiscal discipline, a lot of people forget that the information is out there where you can go and find exactly what happened to bring back Jamaica's economy. And I went and I found some information that I am going to be sharing with my listeners to prove to all of you that Andrew Holness has not been talking the truth when it comes to fiscal responsibility and the fiscal foundation that was laid in Jamaica. You're listening to Caribbean Radio HD, Portland Spice TV. Councillor, former mayor of Morant Bay, MP candidate for Western St. Thomas, Hubert Ryan Williams. Good evening.
Good evening to you and your listeners.
How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great now. That has been good to me.
Blessings. We're up on about 11 radio stations over there in the United States right now, you know, so people in my area.
Yes.
We heard you Sunday night in a no-nonsense mood. In a mood that we have never heard a candidate out of Western St. Thomas step up and put everything bare on the table. What brought you to that position, Willie?
25 years of neglect.
35 years of neglect.
25 years of laziness. That's what brought me to that position.
And you are saying that the MP has been there for what, 25 years?
Almost 25 years. Almost quarter of a century.
Quarter of a century. And we see the farmers struggling. How long was it? That was 2 years ago that the farmers couldn't get no sale for them onion.
Before we touch the onion,
yeah.
I see the labor rights have something wrong with Chris Hughes today. That Chris Hughes was calling me a liar about what I said about my coffee farmer. That once I become member of parliament, I will ensure that my coffee farmers get a minimum of $22,000 per box of coffee.
So when them say you can't do that?
And I'm saying I can do that, and I will be the voice for that. But if you start to say coffee price is determined by the law of supply and demand and whatever, coffee price is one of those commodities that it still trades the same way it was done when our colonial masters was here. There's supply and demand don't dictate coffee price. Don't.
Yes, a coffee price is still a trading commodity. Coffee is still a trading
Future
commodity.
trading yeah, that's what they call a future trading commodity.
Yeah.
So it's not a thing that based on the demand out there, or based on the low supply out there, price going to increase. It don't go like that.
But
The
why is
government
it?
set a price.
Why is it, Comrade Williams?
Because
Every
of
time,
our
hold on. The question I'm asking you, why is it every time the GLP come in power, coffee price go down?
Yeah, because there are a bunch of vulture capitalists. Let me tell you something. You have a few directorates that guide the coffee process, that regulate the coffee process. And these guys, their only intention is to be big house, like big cars, and so forth and so forth. So
Out of the coffee.
Vulture capitalists that live on the backs like pigs and cow, and the poor farmers. I'm saying, I will not have done of it. I'm saying, most of our coffee is sold in Japan. The Japanese purchase about 95% of our coffee.
Yeah.
Our coffee is not out there on the free market, so that based on supply and demand, we can come to a price. Nothing like that.
But why is it that our coffee is not out there on the global market, just basically focusing on Japan, and other countries drink a lot of coffee? Why we not?
Let me tell you something. Japan will advance, Jamaica, like pay millions of dollars even before they get the coffee.
So we can forward sell the coffee like how we forward sell
the coffee. So they will say,
Norman Manley.
We're going to supply you guys X amount of coffee for the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a drawdown. And whenever you start getting those type of deals, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So coffee is one of those things. Let me tell you something. A coffee farmer of this coffee and don't agree to sell it to the government.
Yeah.
It's impossible for them to sell it elsewhere because it's almost right. Don't let me not say it's impossible. Because for you to sell that coffee elsewhere, the amount of licensing you have to get, the regular poor man can't get it.
So they lock down the coffee to a one-man band.
Yeah. So if you're not selling your coffee to coffee board, Jack Rock, because most of the boards combine now.
Yeah, it's Jack Rock now.
Serious problem. So it's not a thing where the free market exists and the coffee is advertised in the United States, it's advertised in Spain,
UK.
it's advertised in England. It's not a thing like that. Our coffee, that's not the way our coffee has been sold over the years. It's a colonial system that dictates the price of our coffee.
And you are saying that you are going to change. You are going to change that. You are going to change that.
No, but what we are saying, we are getting less than right now. We have a thing in agriculture that we call cost of production to produce an acre of coffee or any other produce. We are saying what the farmer is getting now, $10,000 a bag, is way less than the cost of production. In 2016, when we leave office, a coffee farmer was getting between $14,000 and $18,000.
I know that, and as soon as the GLP-1, it went down to what? About $3,000 a box.
Yeah, it went down to $6,000. But what I can tell you, if you take inflation into consideration, over those years, we'll end up about 22,000. So I'm not saying this out of thin air. I don't want to come up with $22,000 out of thin air. It's based on rate of inflation.
So that is what you're going to be demanding for Jamaican coffee.
But that's what I've been demanding. And let me tell you something. What if you don't understand? I'm one of the premier exporters in Jamaica. And if
exporter, not an importer. Exporter.
Not an importer. My opponent is an importer. Is one of the biggest importer of agriculture produce in Jamaica.
And he's the MP for a big farming belt.
Yes.
How does that work?
Repeat that again.
How does that work? He's an importer of a big farming belt. Why not export? You need to send one more stuff.
No, it's only one answer. I sit sometime and I wonder how much wickedness in I want, man. I don't know how much man wickedness in our MP. It's not one person wickedness nine. That one person alone can wicked so.
Jesus. What you talk about, Willie? Talk to it. Talk to us. What is it you're talking about?
Our present MP that we have now is so wicked. It can't be one man wickedness nine. Because let me tell you something. The man represents the biggest onion belt in Jamaica.
Yes.
The biggest onion belt in the Caribbean. Yet the man is one of the biggest importer of onion.
So he's competing with his constituency, that's what you're saying?
Competing, he's killing his constituency. Let me tell you what the man do. Let me tell you what the man do. The man will get the permit, and make the permit and back up, And once in do our onion come in, and our take route, in just bring in 4 containers, 5 containers, and flood the market. What we call in economy, a glut in the market.
Right.
Once there's a glut, and people have known them, onion is a very perishable item,
Yes.
If they don't have the right sports facility, and they don't understand the post-harvest care practices, which most of our farmers don't. So, what he do now, when he flood the market like that, the price will stick. That's supply and demand.
Right.
That is supply and demand. So when the price stick like that now, he's sending his truck. He don't come now. He don't show his face. He's sending his trucks. Buy the onion. $100. Buy the onion.
For little or nothing.
You know that we have one of the biggest control temperature storage facilities in Jamaica. He put them there 3-4 weeks. When he let those onions out on the market, when there's a scarcity, he just gets big money. And that's what he do to his constituents.
Wow.
That's how cruel the human being is.
So we know you're opening the eyes of the people now, but were the people aware of all this a long time ago?
No, people are not aware. Come on, a lot of people never know how the economy works.
True.
So we have to understand that a lot of people don't know how this economy works.
So how is it now you are going to get this kind of message across to the farmers? Are they buying in? So we're talking to Hubert Williams.
Hello.
Yeah, man. How you getting this across?
I'm here.
How you getting this message across to the constituents, and are they buying into the vision that you are putting forward?
They're buying into the vision, and it gets them nervous. And people are calling me left, right, and center. But people, you think, let me tell you, most people in Center and Western are so much afraid of their member of parliament.
Wow.
They will not criticize their member of parliament because they're so much afraid of it.
And them now said nothing what them thinking now and them say.
Yes.
But these are different times.
No, the thing with me, I choose freedom over fear.
Of course.
So I will say what I want to say and what should be said.
And once is the truth, the truth will set you free.
Yes. So I'm saying, time come. We can't continue like this. We can't continue having one human being doing this to the people. I'm an onion farmer myself.
You're the onion farming. What are some?
If you are the biggest onion belt, and you're a good MP, you'll be here for 25 years. This MP did come here just the other day. You don't believe that he should at least have a 40-foot container, control temperature, storage facility in the onion belt? At least that.
So you're saying that there's no storage facility in his constituency, which is the biggest onion belt in the Caribbean?
None. Why? Because it would be against his personal interest. That's the only reason why you don't want it to.
So you are saying that the people of Western St. Thomas for almost 25 years have been voting against their interests?
That's what I'm saying. You know why onion? And I don't want people to confuse my passion with arrogance. This is straight passion. About 2 years ago, I helped a guy, a young man, with some things and to put on his plan about Africa. And the young man said to me after the crop, it was a very successful crop. Next year, I plant 2 acres and buy the markets. It's something that always stuck in my head.
What I'm saying, next year, I'm going to do 2 acres and buy markets.
Yeah, in terms of 2 acres, I'm buying market.
Oh, you mean that is the kind of thinking we want?
And that is the type of thinking, and that thinking live with me.
Yes.
And it's going to live with me whether I live 1 more year or 100 more years.
But tell me something, Willie. The Southern Coastal Highway coming through your constituency, is that completed and satisfactorily completed?
That highway will never be satisfactory. It's not completed. Let me tell you something. I refer to it as a pathway. And many people in St. Thomas refer to it as a pathway. But let me tell you something. The subsurface is so poor that you go town and when you come back, you see this area thing, tomorrow them start to dig it out. And just that. Everywhere you go, it's a patch, it's a patch, it's a patch. Like the patch program.
So you're
get a pathway instead of highway.
So you're saying that the quality of work is poor?
Poor, man. It's the most mismanaged infrastructural program in the history of Jamaica.
The leader of opposition said that he's going to launch an inquiry into SSL when he becomes prime minister. I am almost sure that I heard him also say that, or somebody else said that there needs to be an inquiry into that Southern Coastal Highway. What do you think?
Of course. Let me tell you something. When government take up so much money and spend in one space, don't look for it to come back next year or the next year after that. It's going to be a while because it's a round-robin situation.
Yes.
Remember, we were the last to get it. And so we have to wait our term again. So we're going to have to wait till all of these parishes get it before it can come back to us.
Because you're getting a big project.
Because we have gotten a big project.
When you become member of parliament, what do you intend to do about it?
Well, when I become member of parliament, we have to do a total review, you know. And based on the information that come out of that review, we will act accordingly. I like to act based on information.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, Willie, we're going into the election, but I don't know if you listened to Faval Williams a while ago.
No, I didn't get the opportunity.
Last year, Nigel Clark came to the parliament and he said that he was going to remove GCT from raw foods and meat. You remember that?
Yes.
Well, Faval put that on the table again today. That they are going to remove the GCT from imported raw food. Same onion, garlic, chicken, fish. What do you have to say about that?
Well, let me tell you something about that. I can't say so much about it. The first essay I was asked to...
Willie? Willie, I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you, Willie. I lost you a while ago, so start over.
Yes. I'm saying I have a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
Because the first essay I was asked to write, 1994, when I went to Elim Agricultural School, the topic was the effects of cheap agricultural products on the Jamaican economy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. When you import them things, you know, the money multiplying effect, you know, you know, when you have a person locally producing, you know, that's where you see the real money multiplying effect.
The money stays with you longer.
The money actually stays and the money passes through several persons.
Yes.
From the farm store to the laborer, you name it.
Back to the grocery store.
Yeah, and again,
yeah.
Another thing we have to really look at, you know, is food security.
Yes.
We can't just import, you know, because based on all that is going on in geopolitics in the global space, one day we might wake up and can't get no food to import.
Oh, talk to me. That is what some people need to understand. That's what we mean when we talk about feeding ourselves. Will it?
Yes, I'm listening. So I'm just saying to Jamaica that we have to understand the danger that is out there.
Definitely.
And we have to protect ourselves. Good government, protect its people from these dangerous situations that's pending out there.
Obviously, we didn't learn anything from COVID. And then, I tell you something, the shocking part about this bill is that the removal of GCT is retroactive to July last year. The opposition leader asked some serious questions. Faval did not answer most of them. she was asked by Julian Robinson which country is pressuring Jamaica to lift it, and to our surprise, no country really is pressuring us to do it. So the question is, why is it that we are forcing ourselves to do it?
Well, let me tell you something. When election time comes in Jamaica, you know it's in the season.
Yes.
So a lot of things going to happen now, just to look forward. Simple like that. But I think what we have to do, is have a long-term plan as a nation and stick to that long-term plan if we're really interested in nation building. I'm saying I see it in St. Thomas. Because of lack of planning, lack of care, we have a terrible situation here in Western St. Thomas. Any youth is with a good job, is either a civil servant or you work at Kingston.
So you're saying nothing there. What are the prospects for the urban center? Is that in your division? That is in your constituency, yeah?
Yes, and it's in my division as well.
So what that is going to bring?
No, that's not going to bring much, because that's one of the things that I'm so much upset about.
Talk to us.
All of the investors who get shop at the urban center, are people from elsewhere. St. Thomas people are not getting a shop them.
What?
That's the situation we face.
St. Thomas, so did they apply for the shops?
Yes, I have received several letters from business people here in the parish who actually applied for shop and didn't receive none.
So how that will work?
Well, it's just a sad situation.
Are them say them all build some little shop for St. Thomas people them here?
Them like them want to build some little shop at the back.
Yes, that's what I think I heard. Them go and build some little shop at the back.
That is sad. So they're going to put us at the back and build some little shop for us. When they're going to build those little shop, all of that should be taken in consideration from the plan was drawn. What we're going to do with our local business people.
What is going to become of Morant Bay when the urban center is open? Is it that the town is going to move?
We have to see what's going to become of Morant Bay. I don't know as yet.
All right, Willie, in terms of a general vision for your constituency, articulate a little more of that for us.
Well, I have several pillars where I'm planning to build the constituency on. Agriculture, of course. Mining, because remember, we are a mining parish. It's just that things are not being done in an efficient and environmentally friendly way at the moment. I am going to fix that. We know that we are eco heritage tourism. We have what it takes to build an industry out of that. We have the Blue Mountain, which is an international heritage site. You know the history of Paul Bogle and the Morant Bay Rebellion and all of that. We have some beach, maybe not as pretty as the one in Portland. Portland, of course, is a special place, And so on and so on. We have the Roselle Falls. There's so much that we have here and so much history. There's no parish in this country that have the history like what St. Thomas have.
And that history has not really been put to use for the people of St. Thomas.
Put to use. The Morant Bay Rebellion have brought so much. There is no one single event that changed a society as a Morant Bay Rebellion changed Jamaica.
And you're going to use that?
And we're going to use that to really add value in our parish.
There are a lot of people who are doubting your ability to carry home the St. Thomas seat. When was the last time the PNP won that seat?
Nearly 25 years ago.
25 years ago. And that who was the MP that time? Tony Hilton?
Anthony Hilton.
Okay, so it is a seat that the PNP has won before, so the possibilities are still there.
Yeah, man, it's a seat that the party have won, but, a lot of change one generation ago.
Yeah.
A lot of change. Let's be real about that. But people have to understand, if you talk to any one of my colleagues who have studied me, from Morant Bay High School, to Ealing Agricultural School, to to Nova University, they will tell you that I am a special being. They will tell you that I know how to get things done.
Yes.
If you talk to any one of my colleagues who want to speak the truth, who have started to know over the years of council, they will tell you that this man know how to get things done.
And we saw some of that. We saw some of that. We saw some of that in the short time you were mayor.
I have what I've done in 1 year. No other mayor have ever done that in a full term, and that shows my ability.
Hold on for me, Willie.
The government.
Hold on for me, Willie. Don't move. Hold on. Hello, good evening.
I want to ask Willie a question.
What is the question?
I want to ask him, say, when I'm in a mayor, all that wait them plan away my coming now, why never do it anymore as the mayor?
But the mayor wasn't the mayor for the constituency.
You're not going to be the MP. The mayor do enough work. I am mayor. You run
All
the
right.
place.
Let me make him tell you some of the things I'm doing in my mayor. Hold the line.
Tell him.
Willie.
Yes.
I'm on the next line. I say all of them things the way I say why you never do them when you're mayor. How long were you mayor for?
I was mayor for 1 year.
1 year. Tell us some of the things you did as mayor.
But let me first address what him said. And a lot of time, we are Jamaican, we love to beat. But even if I'm going to beat, I must also teach.
Yes.
So let me say something to whosoever asked the question. The role of a member of parliament is much different from that of a local representative.
Definitely.
The local representative has to stay in and lane. He cannot go in and do the things that the member of parliament is supposed to do.
Not at all.
He can work like that, get funding fees. Funding is done in a certain way based on your responsibility. So it's a member of parliament who is responsible for these functions.
Right. So tell him more you talk some of the things that you did as mayor.
But in my short time as mayor,
right,
I was the one who installed a city clock. And they always say, man, be in the back of time because they know have a clock. So I try to change that narrative, that mindset.
Right.
When I was a boy going to the market, the whole of the back of the market was uncovered, which is the larger portion of the market. People sell out there like them are animal because nothing covered. I was the one who covers the market.
Yes.
Also, I was the one who introduced Christmas fireworks to Marant Bay because before my time, our people have to travel all the way to Kingston to witness fireworks. And let me tell you, we know that only the fortunate few can do that.
Right.
Their own vehicle.
And you reopen the park.
I was the one who get the phone working in the park, do all type of work in the park.
Yes.
I was the one who bring the lecture session with Art Sharpton to Marant Bay. And the list goes on and on. So I'm just saying, I have performed well. I was the one who organized the township.
Yes. Yeah.
No, the management is falling down. So it's not like when I was there. But I was the one who did it.
So
and several other things.
The people of Marant Bay and St. Thomas Western would have seen those works. You believe that they're going to reward you for those work and give you more work?
Yes, the people of St. Thomas, they love me. I'm their favorite son. Any Labourite want to talk otherwise, we will see an election day. Just the other day in the local government election, even the biggest JP communities like the Pamphlet and the Roselle came out and voted for me. I won every single community in the local government election. It's the first time it has ever been done. The JLP didn't win one community.
So hold on, you win every PD in your division?
I don't want to say every PD. I never said that, but every community I've won. Every single community. I have 13 communities in the White House division, and I've won the 13 communities.
Willie, as it relates to transportation in your constituency, we see we are sending in JUTC into that area. But as it relates to children who go to school in St. Thomas, are they getting relief from that? Now talk about the one we got town in St. Thomas. So some leave from Yallas to Marant Bay.
Maybe it will help some who travel very early in the morning from Yallas to say Marant Bay. But it don't create a serious dent.
So the local student in St. Thomas, they are not really benefiting from that.
No, let me tell you something. And I want to be fair. I don't want to put this become a St. Thomas and a Western St. Thomas problem. We have to look at transportation for students on a national basis.
Yes.
I want to be very honest and clear about that. The next PNP government have to take it as a priority. And that's what I want to say about that.
Willie, the economy of St. Thomas, some people would say that has been dead for a long time. We know you're passionate about farming. You spoke about mining. What else can be used to revive St. Thomas economy?
Well, as I said, all right. Good question. Because a lot of times people ask about jobs. And there's no industry called job. There's no industry called employment.
No.
So you create employment by creating industries.
Right.
And once you create industries, people have to work in this industry.
Yes.
So, the new local economy, St. Thomas, Western, we will have about 60% of the jobs coming from agriculture, which will produce about 50% of our GDP. Where mining is concerned, we're going to have about, I'm talking off my head now, we're going to have approximately maybe 4% of our jobs coming from mining. Because we are a very big mining part.
Yeah.
So we're going to take care of about 55% of our jobs, 65%, and about 55% of our GDP from mining and agriculture. Two big boys there. So we are looking at other stuff. Like example, as I told you before, eco-heritage tourism.
Yeah.
We might not get those big numbers, but it's going to be part of the others.
Yeah. Yeah.
Outside of that, we have to seriously look at sports and entertainment.
Talk to us
you have to
about
look
that.
at sports and entertainment in a serious way.
Yes.
Because you have to remember, the chronic laws, the popcorn,
Yes.
Taurus Riley, they are St. Thomas people.
The Bushman.
So we
you left Bushman.
No, I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. And if Bushman is listening, sorry, because Bushman is my very, very good friend.
Yeah,
and always very, very bad church man to him. And always keeping his community there. So, Bushman, sorry about that.
You know,
And
we put Bushman on the map, right?
Well,
enough
I didn't know.
Enough people never know that we put Bushman on the map, But continue.
Okay. And you're still venting for him, so I love that.
I'm a general man.
So and we have good footballers here and so forth and so forth. So what we are saying, that whole industry, which I know you always push for the creative industry, players of instruments.
Yes.
You name it, because one stage you are going, good stage you have to have the man able to play the music.
Yes,
we want to develop those skills. We want to develop our producers, our musical engineers, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So we're going to create an industry. We want to ensure that we have at least 2 mini stadiums in the constituency. Right now, we have none, zero. We want to change that. And that comes because let me tell you something. I'm not one of those vulture capitalists who believe in the whole.
Hold on for me, Willie. Let me just thank the people at Caribbean Radio HD for staying tuned to us this evening. Do join us again tomorrow evening from 5 until 7. Drive Time Radio, Caribbean Radio HD. Brother Gary, big up yourself and the crew. Yeah, Willie, continue.
Yes, I'm not one of those people who believe, who believe in trickle-down economics. I don't believe in it. I don't believe if the rich have more, they will spend it and the poor get a little bit. I don't believe in that. I believe if you build an economy, just as though you build a house, you create a foundation and build from the bottom, go up to the top. You're going to have a strong economy, a sustainable economy.
Willie.
And that's what we need to do. So the micro aspect of our economy must be taken into consideration. And that's why I am the loudest voice for our road robin promoter. Because when a road robin go on, the chain man go, they go sell. The man will sell the regulars, the man will sell the soup, the man will sell the jerk chicken.
Yes.
That's how you build an economy.
Build the local economy from the ground up. Build the local economy from the ground up.
Build the local economy from the ground up.
Not no grow from top down, brother.
Nothing. So I understand that. And let me tell you something. Only a fool fight against the force of nature.
Yes. My brother, we're going to talk again. We'll keep in touch because sir.
Finally, I want to say this before I leave.
Yeah.
Don't believe Portland sits on a bigger body of fresh water than St. Thomas. St. Thomas sits on the biggest body of fresh water in Jamaica. Yet still, 80% of our people don't have consistent water in their pipe.
You see, that is the thing, Willie. That is the thing I said to people, that you need representatives who knows your troubles, who feel your pain, who knows the layout of the ground, that can find the solutions to your problem. People who are look for your problem long time. Portland have water as well, can feed the island, but we still have houses in Port Antonio and houses in East Portland that don't have no water. And we have an MP over here, we have built water shop. And we said no to water shop. Time for water in your taps.
Yes.
So you as a man from the ground at St. Thomas, you know the problem that they've been facing for a very long time. And I am sure a years you look on the solutions. And now you just need an opportunity to make these into reality.
Yes, and I want to close by saying this. And I want Jamaica to understand it. And most of the people in Western St. Thomas know this. This is my purpose in life. I was born for this. So, when people say, me say something when nobody is not there, when something is your purpose, when you was ordained to do something,
you are going to say, yes, you are going to say things that other people don't say. Yeah.
To do it.
Yes.
So I want to say to Jamaica and to the people of Western St. Thomas, most importantly, time come for us to move forward. And to move forward, I must deliver them from evil.
Hold on, Willie, don't move. Hold on. Hello, good evening.
Greetings, Wagwan.
Me there, where you say?
Are you bad boy, Trevor?
Wagwan, youth.
You still on the program?
Yeah, man, we're still on live.
Big up past me here.
All right, sir. Big him up.
Chris, when I say to him now, you never have any entertainment.
Yes.
Can say me I come on foot. Yeah, a long time I play, I come at St. Thomas.
All right.
The plane just done.
No, but we are fix it back, Trevor. You know that I am the Deputy Shadow Minister for Culture and the Creative Industry. So we are going to make sure that all of you guys make the kind of money we're supposed to make. A long time we're not rich. A long time all you will be a millionaire. But because previous administration never know it. Hold on, my brother. Let me say something to Willie. Willie.
Yes.
Bad boy Trevor that just call. Remember bad boy Trevor who do the whole part play them?
Yes.
Him say I come at your foot because a long time no play no come at St. Thomas. So I'm going to link you.
No problem. I'm here. And we welcome all the economic activity in St. Thomas. Commercial, we are for that. So
yes,
we love that.
Yeah, man. And the PNP is the party that will push the culture and the creative industry. Willie, big up yourself. You know if I find you. We know if I find you.
And thank you very much for having me, and thank you very much to your listeners.
You need to be here more often. Next time we're going to carry on video, make the people see you. But we talk.
No problem. Absolutely
right.
No problem.
Yeah, man. Bad boy Trevor.
Yeah.
Yes, man. Wagwan.
Yeah, man, as I say, that part of the industry there.
Yeah.
From COVID. It in the regulation fit now going good. And as I say, when I'm traveling in New York and stuff there.
Yeah.
Every state you go, you can find a performing art center.
Yeah.
With cheer and everything you can rent. You have to go through the whole thing where we are trying to
build nothing.
Where you used to work with playground.
But you see, Trevor, you'd have heard the PNP talk about building out entertainment zone. Yes. And I went over to Fort Rocky the other day just to look at what they were doing over there. And when we see just a space them clean up, the intention that we have for entertainment zone is that in that zone, you can go in and go put on your place, stage ready, chair, changing room, covered area. All of that will be there. Parish. That is what we talk about when we talk about an entertainment zone. Not just clean up our space and say, sit down and keep dance. No.
Every major town supposed to have one of that. I'm going to tell you why I know. Because the parish council have a pressure and thing, man. You spend 10,000 bill a board, you have to spend 10,000 put it up.
Yeah.
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 It is not fair.
No,
and
man.
then you go so boom and promote the show and then you
Trevor,
say state emergency come here for the cancel the show.
is not just fear it, not fear, you know. It is stupid because this is an industry that can create wealth for so many more people. Yeah.
You remember play come at St. Thomas, man, or come at country so much friend that come out, man.
What you talk about, man? They want to know where all the thing go. But what we are saying, you know, is that this industry is the industry that can really turn around Jamaica's economy. Because it's not just doing these plays for us locally. We need to start export those as well. And we have a plan. We have a plan for you, brother, where we are going to allow you to really use your creativity to package Jamaican culture into entertainment. We are going to export it around the world, and you will make real money from it.
Right there, sir.
Right
there.
There. Yeah.
You see the whole of the 90s artists, them the Bounty and the Beanie, I get back them glory and I go back into the market, you know now. It's needed.
Yeah, but
people even laugh and have fun again. It's
brother,
serious, man.
Brother, when you look on you, Will Smith not really better than you. But you can't count Will Smith money, because Will Smith get opportunities that you don't get. And what we are saying, as an administration, we now are going to create that kind of opportunity for the Jamaican entertainers, the Jamaican comedians, the Jamaican actors and actresses.
It needed.
We are going to do it, my brother.
When I see go perform, I say every time you go to school, the auditorium is equipped with a performing arts center.
Exactly. So we are going to build out those spaces.
We do the killer industry that when you send you have drama school for them if you never when you come to school tomorrow.
You don't have no stage to perform on. And that's what we are saying. We are going to provide that stage for you guys to perform and really build your skills. And that's why Julian Robinson said that there's $1 billion that we are going to make available for all creatives. Some people are talking about Julian are going to give money to TikTokers. It's not just TikTokers is a very small part of the creative industry. Trevor and him team, Delia Harris, Glenn Campbell, all of them people that will do these roots play.
We had to go on the tour again in Jamaica.
You need help. You all need help. We are gonna help you. I mean, you should have somewhere like the Ward Theatre one who can go do nothing. You need quite a few more that run the place. And as I said to you earlier, the entertainment zones that we talk about, our concept of the entertainment zone is that you must have this kind of auditorium, built-in stage, built-in backstage, changing room.
Yeah, man.
We have to get 1 or 2 sound stage on the island. So when we have the movies, we are equipped for those. We can do soap operas. We can do proper comedy for television. We are going to build out the screen industry, my brother. You have
the comedians, them have a section.
Yes.
Everybody
have
a section.
Everybody
have a section there.
Yeah, man.
The
entire visual and the performing arts, we're going to lift it, brethren. And we're going to make real money.
Right, sir.
Brother, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Bless up. Yeah, man. So, a bad boy, Trevor, that tune in from Portland Spice TV. And them people, let me tell you about all the while, that we want to ensure that them people really reach their true potential, because they have potential, but they have not gotten the opportunity. You want to see the money in a film, then you will see their potential. So we have to develop the screen industry. Film is the package for culture to export it, And these are the people that are equipped with the talent, blessed with the talent, but needs the opportunity. And that's my role, Dr. Deborah Ickling's role. We are going to push the culture and the creative industry in a big way, that you will see a lot more millionaires in Jamaica. More Usain Bolt, more Veronica Campbell, more Chris Gale, more Shelley and Fraser Price, more Marlon Samuels, more Bujo Banton, more Bounty Killer, more Beanie Man, more Sizzler, more Chronics, more Berries, more Taros, more Bushman, more Popcorn, more Chronicler. I saw we have to have whole heap of them people. You hear how a big youth say every nigga is a star. We are going to make the man them reach them stardom. That is it. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace now and forevermore. If you have not yet subscribed to Portland Spice TV, may I beg you, please subscribe. Get some subscription for me. We want to get up to 4,000. We need to count. We need to get up to that place. We have the quality. We have the content. We are bring it. So help we build the channel. Need some more subscription. Can ask some people. Send it to all of the contact them in your phone. Tell them to subscribe to Portland Spice TV. Come on and make we build a family right here. Outside of Portland, we're coming. But come on from evening. I may actually close the show. But it's been on my mind. May I have to say condolences to the family and friends of Samuel Frati Dixon. Yeah. A man who I have known more than 20 years now. We have done some great works together. Frati, Sassafras, Burton, myself, Barra is around. We brought Percy Sledge to Jamaica. We did a Father's Day show, Montego Bay, at, what the place name? Disco Club Inferno. Club Inferno down at Montego Bay. We brought Percy Sledge down there, do a show down there. We did another big show called Ice Cream where we brought in Boys to Men, Casey and Jojo. That was at James Bond Beach. When the Jamaica Tourist Board decided that they would no longer do the Boston Jerk Festival, it was Sassafras, Carlton Burton, Leo Elliott, and Samuel Frati Dixon, along with yours truly, who invested and take up the Jerk Festival when a whole heap of people did say we couldn't do it. A whole heap of people doubted us. And that was in 2003. So I'm way more than 20 years, me know Frati. I will not talk about, my God, maybe 30. That was 2003. That was the largest Jerk Festival. We collected from over 31,000 people. Ticket sales we are talking about, not guesstimate. We collected from over 31,000 people. And it was estimated that there was another 30,000 people in Boston. So in 2003, we did the biggest paid event ever in Portland. Over 60,000 people in Boston. Yeah, man. Well, Frati was shot and killed last night. Very, very sad. I want to send condolences to his children. His mother is still alive. Yeah, I'm almost sure his mother is still alive. I don't know how she ever deal with that. Frati is a man where loved by a whole heap of people. You know? Yeah. So, we'll close this evening on a very sad note. Very, very sad note. I have our next friend, and well, I tell you, don't even want to go no further, but I'm sending condolences to Bugsy family and friends too. As somebody that I know very well. Murdered. There are two men who I know. Two of them are elder for me. But there are two men who have a whole heap of respect for me, and I have a whole heap of respect for them. We have done shows together. Me and Bugsy do a show up at Titchfield named Saggle to the East. We carry Bounty Killer come here. And then Bounty Killer start the struggle to the east. And we first the struggle to the east up at Titchfield. Yeah, man, Bugsy where them just murder where they. Yeah, but I don't like where I go on with Portland. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. You know, but Jah bless and Jah guide. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep the eye them. You know. One love. Blessings.